guys, welcome back to Revealing the Sane and Insanity. My name is Morwen Nightingael and today we'll be talking about schizophrenia. So what is schizophrenia? So the official definition states it as a long-term mental disorder of a type involving a breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion and behaviour, leading to false perception, inappropriate actions and feelings, withdrawal from reality and personal relationships into fantasy and delusion, and a sense of mental fragmentation. But as usual, what does that mean? So again, we're going to be going over the diagnostic criteria, which there are 5 of, and you need 2 or more of them, which are each present for a significantly long time within the period of 1 month. So the first is delusions, and what this is when you have a very strong belief about something despite really strong evidence against it. No matter what fact you find, you always believe what is in your head, even if it's blatantly untrue. The second is hallucinations, and a hallucination is when you see or hear something that physically is not there. Third is disorganised speech. So this is when someone rapidly switches from topic to topic with no connection between one thought and the other. So say 1 minute they're going on about unicorns and the next all of a sudden it's desk drawers and there's been no switch, they don't even notice the switch between the 2 subjects. And it can also include neologisms. And this is when someone has made up words or phrases that only mean something to the person saying them. So number 4 is grossly disorganised or catatonic behaviour. What this is when someone experiences muscle tightness or rigidity and a lack of response to environmental factors, such as someone speaking to them or touching them. And number 5 is negative symptoms. Now I know this sounds a bit vague, but they do go more into it, and what they mean by this is affective flattening, which is a lack of emotional response, alegia, which is an inability to speak, and avolition, which is a lack of motivation. So what we're going to do now is, again, with the diagnostic criteria, I'm going to give you an example of how each problem that a schizophrenic faces has actually been part of your life, to kind of demystify which each part of schizophrenia actually is. Delusions. Think about, have you ever been called a liar, or that you're wrong despite you knowing for a fact that you're right? In technicalities, that person is calling you delusional. Almost everyone experiences this in part of their life. One of the biggest is religious people. A lot of religious people are called delusional, and by technical fact they would be, because they believe in something with their whole hearts that cannot be physically proven. Hallucinations. Have you ever seen a shadow move when you're on your own at night? Or have you ever thought you heard someone calling your name but no one actually did, or no one's around to call your name? This is similar to a delusion. Delusions are just much more prominent, much more often, and can be a lot more scary. Think about a waking nightmare. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and you find yourself screaming, or you're still picturing what you saw in your nightmare and you can't get back to sleep just for that fear? That's very similar to what a hallucination is. Disorganised speech. Have you ever been so drunk or so hyper, depending on your age and what you like to do, that you get distracted by the slightest thing? Or when you were a kid, did you ever have that secret language with your sibling or your best friend? That's a little bit like what disorganised speech and neologisms are. Grossly disorganised and catatonic behaviour. Have you ever had cramp? Or been so tired that even the thought of opening your mouth to say one word just sounds like a chore? Or even found yourself wondering where the day is gone, you had so much to do and yet you've got nothing done, and even though you've still got more stuff to do, all you can think about is just sitting down and chilling out. Cramp without the pain and the extreme tiredness is kind of like catatonic behaviour, and the lack of motivation to get up and do the things is like being grossly disorganised, just a lot more severe. Negative symptoms. So we're covering all of the negative symptoms in this one example. Have you ever experienced something so horrible or so heartbreaking to you personally that's made you sob your heart out so much that you just couldn't speak to anyone? That made you want to just lie in bed and ignore the world completely and life in general? That's similar to the negative symptoms we've mentioned. Affective flattening, alegia, and avolition. Did you know that schizophrenic disorders are not as rare as you might think? It was actually found that they affect around 26 million people worldwide. Did you also know that at some point in their life, 1 in 100 people will suffer an episode of schizophrenia? And in the UK, at any one time, around 280,000 people are being treated for schizophrenia by the NHS. That's right now. The exact causes of schizophrenia are unknown, but research is suggesting that a combination of physical, genetic, psychological and environmental factors can make people more likely to develop the condition. So schizophrenia does tend to run in families, but they have not found one specific gene that does cause it. Research is suggesting that a combination of different genes are likely to make people more vulnerable to the condition. However, having these genes also doesn't mean that you will develop schizophrenia. There are also other studies that have shown that those with schizophrenia do have subtle differences in the structures of their brain. The changes aren't seen in everyone with schizophrenia. So now, as always, we're going to go over the myths of schizophrenia. Unfortunately, there are quite a lot. There's a lot of stigma around mental health in general. And we're going to go over the top 5 that I found. 1. All schizophrenics are dangerous. So this is the most common misconception with those with schizophrenia, as violence is actually not a single part of the diagnostic criteria for the illness, are more likely to be the victims of violence because of the stigma that comes with the disorder. Second is that those with schizophrenia have a split personality. Again, this is not a symptom at all of schizophrenia, and the original reason that a lot of people believe this is because the word schizophrenia literally translated means split mind, which of course caused a lot of confusion. Number 3 is that those with schizophrenia can never recover. So from research, it was found that about 25% of people with schizophrenia will actually go on to recover completely without any further problems in the future. 4th is that schizophrenics need 24-hour care. As long as people with the condition are receiving proper treatment and support, do live happy, normal, independent lives, and they get outpatient therapy so they don't even have to be living in a facility. And 5 is the worst one, which comes from the stigma itself, is that you can't speak to a schizophrenic like a normal person. This is one of the disorders that you've actually probably spoken to many schizophrenics, you just didn't know. Like I said in the borderline personality disorder video, there are high functioning and low functioning, and many schizophrenics are high functioning and you won't even know they have the disease. There's no reason for you to talk to them like they're a different kind of person. Well, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments, questions and experiences in the comments below, or send me a message. I'd love to know more and I'd love to answer any questions anyone has. And as always, hit that like button if you liked the video, hit subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next video. 4th is grossly Fourth is... Are you dancing? Cute! Well, I'm trying to film here.